Hey there, avid listeners. Thanks again for tuning in to Sims Workshop. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be talking about City of the Uncommon Thief by Lynn Bertrand. Sorry to say, I did not like this book. In fact, it did not make it onto a finished pile of books. This is a did not finished novel at 27%. I know, crazy. I didn't finish a novel. I figure life is too short to be spent wasting it reading books I don't like. So here's the deal. I started reading this book twice. The first time I read it, I was confused. Didn't know what was happening. Took a couple days off, read something else, and then went back to it and restarted it because I figured, you know what, maybe I was just tired, because I have been. I have been actually very tired lately. My allergies have been so bad that I have not been able to really sleep well. So I haven't been able to sleep well, unfortunately, which has left me just really exhausted, right? Really exhausted. So I tried again. I tried a second time to read it, and I just couldn't get through it, unfortunately. And that's the part that kind of kills me, because I was just really looking forward to reading this book. I was really looking forward to reading this book. I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be the book for me, right? The synopsis was great. It's about a city in quarantine gripped by fear. It's on the edge of war that could, free them. So I was just like, yes, this is the book for me, right? This is the book for me. Unfortunately, not. Unfortunately, this was not the book for me. And I hate that this was not the book for me. Because, again, I was really looking forward to it. But it's so confusing. This book is so confusing. I just had trouble losing myself in the world here. I was really confused by the world building here. I was really confused by what was going on in this story. I was confused, and I don't think you should be confused. I've read Tolkien, I've read Game of Thrones, I've read pretty much almost every single Dragonlance book there is. There are a few I haven't had a chance to read just yet, mainly because I'm on set and I'm not allowed to read them before her. But I've read these books. I like those books. I like extensive world building. I think the problem here is it's not cohesive at all. I was just no. I couldn't follow it at all. Again, I tried to read this book twice. I started it from the beginning twice. And after the second time, I wasn't tired. I was wide awake. I was just sitting down with my cup of coffee, trying to read it, thinking, all right, let's get into this. I'm probably going to understand this book now. I'm not so tired. Nope. Stopped reading it. I'm like, I can't. I struggled so hard to get to 25%, and after my Kindle said 27%, I was just like, I have no idea what's going on. And I said it out loud. I look over my husband and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on in this book. I don't know who the main character is. I don't know anything about this world. I'm so confused. It just felt very disjointed to me. And that's the part that I didn't like. And that's the part that kills me, because it was just not good. You know, it just was not a good story. It wasn't a well-written story, not in my opinion. However, I will say this. I looked online. You know, I went on Goodreads. I'm like, am I the only person who felt like this? Because usually if I'm not, I'm just like, you know what, let me try it again. What did I miss, right? Here, the thing we all have in common is all of us who did not finish the book. A lot of people felt the same way I did. If you go on the Goodreads page, the whole front part is just a lot of reviews of did not finish, at various percentages. This is what we all have in common. We all received digital ARCs from the publisher. Now, ARCs are, you know, they're uncorrected proofs. They're the proof that is, it's literally near the end. You know, you're right near the end. It's the proof that it's going to go through one more, round of editing and then to publication, right? For me, first of all, someone got a map in their digital edition. I didn't get a map. You see what I'm saying? Maybe this ARC just wasn't as polished as they had hoped, because a lot of us, we're all feeling the same way. It's incohesive, it's incoherent, but the people who got final copies of the book, they liked it. So maybe there's something there, which is, I'm bringing this up because that's probably important. All of us who didn't finish the book, we all had digital ARCs. It probably didn't get that fine-tuning that it needed. Maybe if I go to the bookstore and I pick up a book and check it out, I'm like, this is so much better. You know what I mean? Like, so much better. So maybe that's just it. Maybe we just got a really rough copy that just wasn't our cup of tea, unfortunately. Now, you also see, there was this one comment I saw, someone asked, is this book even worth a read? I see it has a lot of negative reviews. And the guy who said it, he's like, oh yeah, these are just people who don't like a challenge, they just didn't stick with it, and they don't like complex languages, blah, 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 blah. I thought his comment was kind of like small-minded, because it's like, again, I've read Tolkien, he made his own language. I've read George R. R. Martin, he's made his own languages. Dragonlance, pretty much a lot of unique languages are made up there. So it has nothing to do with the complexity of the novel or the complexity of the world building. I think it's just, it was incoherent. Because I like to consider myself, a well-read person. I've read a lot of classics. I've read Utopia, I've read Dracula, Frankenstein, pretty much all of Dragonlance, Tolkien, The Hobbit by Tolkien. I've read The Children of Urin. I've read George R. R. Martin's Game of Thrones series. It has nothing to do with the complexity of the world building. It's just very not there in this book. For me, it just wasn't existing. It just didn't exist, and that's what bothered me. And that's what I had trouble wrapping myself around, because I didn't have a clear indication of this world. I didn't get a map like someone else got a map in their digital copy. I didn't get a map. Really wish I'd had a map in mine. Maybe I would have liked it more. And it was just hard to follow. I don't think the formatting was top-notch, which is probably another problem I had with it. When it comes to ARCs, especially digital ARCs, the formatting is not always the best, unfortunately, which is why I always try to get either PDF copies or physical copies from the publisher. But right now with COVID, they're really just doing digital copies, and you can't really blame them for that. So, the ebook copies are not always the best. They're not always formatted very well. So, you just kind of have to deal with it when you're reading. But I think that was also probably a hindrance I had when I was reading this novel, unfortunately. But that's just me. Again, this was an ARC. I'm judging it based on the ARC that I got. Please check this book out from your local library. I can only give this book 1 star because I didn't finish it and I couldn't follow it, and it left me very confused and frustrated. So I can only give it 1 star. But I highly recommend checking out a final copy of this book because it's probably going to be way better than what I read. And maybe when I have time in like 3 years, I'll be able to go back to it and get a final copy from the library and try again. Because I do like to try books again, especially when it's an ARC and it's an unfinished product. So it's as close to finished as it's going to get without being 100% finished. There's still lots of kinks that they're going to work out. But, that's just me. So definitely recommend checking this book out. So on that note, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Please don't forget to support this podcast by liking it, subscribing, sharing with all your book loving friends, and you can also become a supporter on Anchor for $1 a month. There is information in the description of this podcast. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, happy reading, everyone.